Well, hello everybody, welcome to Robert's Train Tech. This is a sort of an unboxing. I just thought I'd go through how things panned out. Went down my local shopping centre yesterday, and there's a cash converters there. Looked in the window, and there was something in the window that drew my attention. It's this. And on the end of the box, so I looked at it and I looked at it, and the bit that's missing is this is the motor bit. So I took that out to make sure it worked on DC, because this is a DC one. But what I didn't think it would be when I saw it in the window would be DCC ready. Well, it was. So I thought, right. Looked online a bit, looked at Hatton's and whatever, not eBay, but looked at Hatton's, and they seem to be selling a very similar one, although maybe not the green with no yellow warnings, but about 205, I think, something like that. So went down there, he had it up for 130 quid, so I offered 100, which he accepted. So I bought this for 100, it's a 4 carriage set, but obviously it's not DCC, so I thought, well, I don't, I've got it at a good deal, I don't really want to spend out loads of money on a sound, because to be honest, it's electric, isn't it? It's electric. Okay, I know they make a certain amount of noise, but it's not like a nice diesel engine or a steam locomotive chuffing. So I thought, well, I'm happy just to have it DCC with no sound. So I realised I had an old DCC chip from my railroad locos, the one that came with the Majestic set, and then I bought a sound chip for them. So I had these over, so I've got 2 of those. But the Backman is a 21 pin, and they're obviously an 8 pin. So bit of a a mismatch. So what did I need? I needed either a Backman decoder, which were about 25 quid, or the other route would be to convert the 21 down to the 8 with the converters you can get. So looked on Hatton's, they didn't have any. Wales of Sheffield had something, so hence the parcel that's just come from Wales of Sheffield. Now usually when I go on Wales of Sheffield, or Hatton's for that matter, I tend to I don't just buy what I want. I don't do it at the hobby shop in Clacton either, for that matter. So I thought, right, I'll have a look through, and I'm going to open this up, and then I'll show you what I've got it out the box, and I've unwrapped all the bubble wrap. And as we know, Wales of Sheffield do shredded paper, which I suppose in a way is better for the environment than all the bubble wrap that Hatton's use, because unfortunately with shredded paper, or at least here, you cannot put it in your recycle bin. You have to put it in the black bag, so it goes into landfill. So I don't know whether that's any better. Don't know. Anyway, so what have I got? So what I've got, that's what I made. That's what I actually sent for. Is that, and that is the converter from a 21 pin to a 8 pin. So that's what I needed. Okay, so £5.45 or so. But while I was on, I thought, I've got some of these container wagons that was in my last video, and they're the connectors that connect them, and they do break. I've had one break, so I thought it might be worth getting some of them, only about £4. And then I'm getting more locos, so got some more crew, and although they're station passengers, they could have their legs chopped off and sit in the carriages, so I bought some of those. They didn't have the normal carriage people. Obviously got Wales or Sheffield cars that we normally get, and it's going away. But while I was on, you know, you look at the bargains and you whatever, don't you? So anyway, I got this. I've always wanted one of these. I've been hanging on for a sound one, but I'm not sure I'm ever going to get one. So unlike all my other locomotives bar one, this will probably never be sound, but it will obviously be DCC. So what have I got? I've got the BR Standard Class 4 MT tank. I've always really liked the look of these. They really look nice, don't they? And there's the end of the box for you. Okay. Now again, this is 8 DCC ready. So luckily, I showed you I've got 2 of these. So I can basically just plug it into this one and make it work, as opposed to needing the other bit, you know, the converter. So I'm going to switch off now, and I'll get these working and we'll have a quick look at them running, hopefully. Okay, cheers. So here's the inside of the motor car, showing the 21 pin. There's the converter and my decoder, and there it is plugged into the 21 pin converter, plugged into the socket on the unit. This is how I initially was going to do it, but in fact I didn't. You could see it too well. This is inside the actual body with the lights, and there it was set up, and here it is running on the layout just to check that it works, as I was told off once for not doing it. And you can see the light at the front is working. This is what connects onto the terminals in the carriage, and they're the 2 strips. I did try them just to make sure the lights work, because I didn't think they worked. So here we are on the layout. Both new engines have got their chips in, and I'm in the process of running them in. So Bachmann recommend 30 minutes each way, so they have had a bit. I've had awful problems. This is actually the next day. When I put the body on, this is when I start having problems. As you see, it just fused it. Those ones by the level crossing, it seems that every time it went across, it would fuse everything. And in the end, I found out, I think, what the problem was. The Black 5 was actually off the tracks, because I'd run the feather duster over some of the rolling stock. I think that's a reasonable way to get the dust off the top, and I must have dislodged it and not realised, and that was sitting across, and I think the front bogie was, I don't know, almost touching, I don't know, but once I put that on I haven't had any trouble. But what it did cause was, where, I don't know whether you can see this, but that's where I used to plug in the wires from my controller, this one here, yeah. And after a lot of edge scratching and whatever, and luckily I had my rake of carriages with lights in, I realised they weren't coming on. So in fact, this piece here and it will focus. Wasn't transmitting any power to the track. I was getting zero. I got my tester out and tested it, and no, nothing. So what I've done now as a temporary measure is, and if I pan up there and go across a bit, I've got one of those clips, and I put that in and re-drilled a hole into the thing. Hang on, that isn't the one. The one with the tape over it, because they're notorious, aren't they, for coming out. So I found some new cables and that, so that it go in, and that seems to be working fine. So I think what I'll do is I will buy a new proper bit of track, and when I take the train set apart next time, I'll replace it. So now we'll have a little running session. Again, the waving on the camera is caused by the lights, and at the end of this I'll show you a little piece to show you that. So what's coming up is a bit on the 4MT tank that I bought, but to give it a chance I've given it a bit of a hand with the old Thompson L1. Didn't want to strain the poor chap, did we? Light also.